Mommy Owolabi Tosin.
Good morning, Celeste.
Morning, Tosin. How are you doing?
I'm good.
How is the cold?
Thank God.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, let's go through the papers, starting with the Daily Trust newspaper.
And we have terrorist camps uncovered in Abuja suburbs. And we know that during the week and even during this year, we had where they said there are some groups, terrorist groups, that are in different enclaves in Abuja. And the Chief of Defense Staff, Tony Rabo, came up and debunked such rumors, saying there is no issue in Abuja. And later on, we heard about where schools had to close because of the issue of this terrorist group and even issues of insecurity in Abuja. And now we see where claves, terrorist dens are being uncovered in some places. And I would just say, for residents of Abuja, they should be very careful, look out for one another, and when you see strange faces, they should report to the police authorities so that they will take actions. Then also, the police need to do more investigations in those places so that they can fish out those people, those criminal and terrorist groups, so that they face the full wrath of the law. And we have police seal NNPP office in Maiduguri detained senatorial candidate. And intrigues as Obasanjo meets Wike and Obi in London. The big story on 2023, be responsible, put Nigeria first, Jonathan tells politicians, urges citizens to vote right leaders, and Sambo wants issue based on campaign. Atiku and Oshomole and Akilu says leaders have a lot to learn from IBB. And details can be found in page 4 of the Daily Trust. After pardon, Nyame now darling for APC, PDP, SDP in Taraba. 3 soldiers, several bandits killed in Zamfara ambush. And UN to the federal government increase education budget to 20%. And we know when the Minister of Education came up and said the subvention and even the allocations that the Ministry of Education gets for education is way too low, and it can't help with the upgrade of the educational sector. And we see where the United Nations is telling the federal government that it should be upgraded, and we've said it even before the United Nations took this issue. We've talked about the importance of education and how this budgetary allocation can be increased for education, because education is paramount, education is important, and we need to look out for ways it can be upgraded. We see the present issue is still part of their the payment scheme, the allowances, and even the infrastructure in the in different schools. So we just say they should look into this and look out for ways allocation can be increased, and when it's increased, they should look out to see that it is being done and the right thing is being done in the educational sector. When we talk about the right thing, we talk about infrastructures, because what is the essence of having a school without the necessary equipment to look out for smooth educational system and smooth running of the education? The lecturers also, their salaries and allowances should come as it's supposed to be. If there's increment, it should be increased and it should be paid, because they will see promises of increment of salary, and later on at the end of when it's time for them to receive the salary, it's nothing to write home about. They don't receive it, or they are being paid in bit by bit. So we just hope that they look into all this and see that the educational sector, everything is running smoothly. We see where lecturers, students, the saga between them, where it has to be sex for marks. Fish out those lecturers. We see what is happening in some universities, where all these lecturers are brought to book and they face the penalty. All these things, all this cankerworm that is eating in the educational sector should be fished out and dealt with, so that we'll have a smooth educational system and we'll have smooth running in our education. We see where Osodeke is talking about, if our political holders, our politicians, if their children are schooling in the public universities, we will not have this issue lingering up to this moment, where it's 6 months they are for 6 months now. Their students are at home because of the pending issue ASU federal government strike. If public holders' children are in these universities, they will look out for ways they can resolve this issue. Even universities are being are being commissioned. We had that in Osun State, and I would say yes, it is important we have universities in different states, but we need to see that the system is running smooth and there's no issues, there are no hitches. The students do not go through some difficult situations, even going through education. So we just hope that they will look into all these things and look out for ways that it can be increased, the budget can be increased, so that education will be something that people will long for. Because if the system is running smoothly, people will yearn to go to school. But if it's not running smoothly, it's a source of discouragement to students. So we just hope that they'll look into all these things and find a lasting solution to the problem. And that's all on the Daily Trust.
Thank you, Tosin. Let's take a look at the Vanguard newspaper. Police take over the NNPP secretariat in Borno, arrest party leader. Detail found on page 3 of the Vanguard newspaper. And from Christina, bandits kidnap commuters, some feared killed. Nigeria's low public investment in education sector would impair the 2030 global goal UN wants, with detail found on page 6. And on 2023 campaign on issues shun hate speech, Jonathan Sambo tax candidates and parties. And still we have federal government harms on partnership for competitiveness. Federal government defends foreign borrowing with Gary, even though I know it's important that we need this money for infrastructure, but I will keep emphasizing on the fact of what importance is this infrastructure without people in this occupying it. If our resident doctors are on strike, the hospital is of no use, because who would the patients cannot be of any use when we don't have lecturers there, or when we don't have students there. It was in our paper early this year where we had that UN gave the statistics of out of school children to be about 11 million plus, and most of this is coming from the northern part of Nigeria. Especially take a look at the places like Yobe, Zamfara, where we know that insurgents have really eaten deep into these places. So even though yes, we are seeing that some public holders are actually coming out to give reasons why we want to keep borrowing, and the fact that China is planning to pardon some countries, which we are not even sure if Nigeria is part of those countries that will be pardoned. But it's important that the more we borrow, we look into where we can invest this money effectively, so at the end of the day we have something in return to fall back on, rather than keep borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. At the end of the day we have infrastructures without anybody using it, especially where we have insecurity still being a danger to all these infrastructures. Federal government warns Nigeria against traveling to northern Cyprus. And I would like to read a little of that. The Director General of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Mrs. Abike Dabire Arewa, on Thursday warns Nigerians against moving to northern Cyprus due to the human rights abuses meted out to Nigerians in the country. She also urged government to pursue justice for several Nigerian students killed in the de facto state. Dabire said this at the 48th session of the State House Ministerial Media Briefing organized by the Presidential Communication Team at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. Officially called the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus, Northern Cyprus is a de facto state that comprises the northern eastern portion of the island of Cyprus. Recognized only by the Turkey, Northern Cyprus is largely considered by the United Nations and the international community to be part of the Republic of Cyprus. Dabire, who noted that several Nigerians are being maltreated and killed in the region, said, "Think twice before going to Northern Cyprus. We can't do much for Nigerians there. Our students are being killed daily." She added that every Nigerian stranded in the Ukraine at the start of the conflict returned home safely. And I hope we send this to all our loved ones that are actually there in Northern Cyprus or are actually planning to go to that site, that is not safe right now, because we can see that even the federal government cannot do anything for them. So we just hope that we'll be very careful and also watch out for our loved ones that are there. Reach out to them, call them, and be sure that they are safe. Still on the Vanguard newspaper, the big story which is on 2023, Obasanjo, Obi, Wike, Duke, others meet in London. The writer following that story as Atiku finally meets Wike in London. Atiku to 8 associates stop deriding Wike and others. Tinubu meeting with the Rivers governor, sign of desperation. This is coming from the ex-VP's camp. Says reconciliation still in progress. We're yet to receive Reconciliation Committee report. This is coming from the Board of Trustee Chairman. And why Atiku Board of Trustee members should pacify Wike. This is coming from the PDP chieftain. And PDP crisis major albatross on Atiku's chances. This is coming from Adeyeye Aswaga Boss. And you can read detail of that story on page 5. You can see the two picture stories in relation to that story. Military kills Sambisa Forest ISWAP commander Yuzifa and 37 others. How to revive the Nigerian steel industry. This is coming from Nasini EVC with detail found on page 6. And that's all on the Vanguard newspaper.
This day newspaper, Wabote, $5 billion NLNG Train 7 project now at 30% completion. Firm says project to create 50,000 jobs. On Oronsaya reports, committee wants National Assembly to streamline creation of new parastatals, agencies and commissions. And we have Wike continuous search for relevance meets Obasanjo, Atiku, Obi. Former President of Nigeria Olusegun Obasanjo on Thursday met with the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, and the Governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike. The meeting, which was held in London, had in attendance some governors elected on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Obasanjo's meeting with the People's Democratic Party governor is coming days after the presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Bola Tinubu, reportedly met with Wike in London. There are speculations that Wike might work for the APC presidential candidate in 2023 due to the crisis between him and the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar. Wike met with Tinubu alongside some PDP governors who are in support of the Rivers State governor's grievances. Those in the meeting include the governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom, Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde, and Abia State Governor Okezie Ikpeazu. Others present at the meeting include former Cross River State Governor Donald Duke and Senator Olaka Nwogo. Still on this day newspaper, we have here NUPRC, Nigeria must declare emergency on oil theft, underproduction and others. Resolving security challenge will bring back investment to the oil sector. And I will say this is very true. When we resolve this issue of insecurity, not just bringing about investment in the oil sector, in all sectors, we'll get to see investment. Even in the mining sector, we'll get to see production, we'll see growth, and we'll see development. In the agricultural sector, we'll see growth and development in all sectors. So we need to look into the issue of insecurity. So that's all on this day newspaper.
Yeah, Tosi, before I move to other paper, I'd like to add up to what you just said concerning this oil theft. I believe that even after we fight the insecurity, we need to also dig out who are the people that are the owners of these illegal refineries that we've been talking about. Just the same way we are saying, or we are asking, that the names of those sponsoring the Boko Haram should be, given to us. Also, the names of those who are, the owners of these illegal refineries should also be brought, because as far as we don't dig this from its roots, even after fighting insecurity physically, we still have insecurity in that other part. Why? Because we don't even know who are the people. Names have not been given. We are yet to get the people behind that. So as far as we're able to do that, then we'll be able to see that when we fight insecurity, we'll be able to even record growth, just like you see in the various sectors. So who are the people who are actually, causing havoc here and there? We should be able to fish them out, bring them out, and let them face the justice at the end of the day. Then we know that truly there will be growth at the end of the day. Let me move on now to the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Hoodlums cause havoc in Lagos community. Blocked Badagry Expressway with detail found on page 26. Woman sell three-week-old baby for 600,000 in Ogun. This is really a sad one. I think people are really, going into hunger and all that, and this has resolved all manner of things. Well, we hope that whatever the issue is, it will be resolved, and we'll kick against such acts, not just in Ogun but anywhere in Nigeria. Military eliminate 57 terrorists in 2 weeks, naps 21 pipeline vandals. Details found on page 27. And we have here more than 20 Nigerian students killed over the years in northern Cyprus. This is coming from NIDCOM Boss, with detail found on page 25. Several marginal oil fields currently producing in Nigeria. This is coming from the NUPRC. The big story, which is on most of our papers: Obasanjo, Obi, Wike, Makinde, Autumn, others meet in London. Fitiri joins Atiku to meet Wike and others as the ex-VP calls for ceasefire among supporters. Tinubu, Amechi, Lawan to meet in Abuja, with detail found on page 2. TETFund-sponsored COVID-19 vaccine ready for clinical trial in November. And hope not lost on Nigerian steel sector. This is coming from Nasini Boss. ASU insistence on 6-month salary arrears selfish and insensitive. This is coming from NAS. That is the National Association of Nigerian Students, where we hope that whatever the issue is, it will be resolved. Not raising Nigerian educational budget to 20% would impair the 2030 global goal. This is coming from the UN, and that is all on the Nigerian Tribune.
And on Friday, Al Jazeera, CBN launches e-Naira code in Kano, records 840,000 downloads. The big story on 2023 presidency: Obasanjo meets Wike Obi in London. For subsidy, AGF's conflicting figures, documents stall probe, and how National Assembly defies Commission violate mandatory pre-retirement leave. Discos rake in 777 billion naira in first quarter, created 32,000 jobs. Ex-Niger Delta Amnesty Program boss Dokubo dies at 70. And police, CJTF seal NNPP Borno office, arrest party leader. The presidential candidate of the new Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, has reacted after security operatives sealed the party's headquarters in Maiduguri, Borno State capital. The report earlier that operatives of the Nigerian police force on Thursday arrested an NNPP leader in Maiduguri. It was reported that commotion started yesterday at the NNPP secretariat situated around the Abaganaram ward of the metropolis, after some hoodlums suspected to be opposition party members stormed the party headquarters and were placing their candidate poster on the building. The NNPP leadership had earlier hired some persons to repaint the new secretariat on Wednesday ahead of Kwankwaso's visit to the state. However, after the work was done, a group of hoodlums reportedly stormed the place to cause nuisance by placing opposition party posters on the secretariat. Reacting to the incident in a post on a Twitter page, Kwankwaso condemned the sealing of the building. Although there are still investigations going on and the investigations going on, we just hope that they resolve this issue very fast, so it will not become something, a global issue. It won't become something that even in aside Borno State, other states, it will be like a clash between different parties. So whatever it is, the police are taking charge, and we just hope they take charge of that issue very fast. On the Friday, Al Jazeera, ASU rejects 10,000 naira varsity support levy, and that's all on the Friday, Al Jazeera.
On the Voice of Liberty, on the oil theft, Nigeria loses 1.3 billion naira crude oil in 2 weeks. This is coming from the defense headquarters. Arrest 21 vandals, destroy the illegal refineries in Niger Delta. On 2023, Buhari warns APC decampees not to link their anti-candidate campaigns to him. Still on 2023, Amechi, Lawan and 19 other APC presidential aspirants to meet in Abuja over Tinubu. Still on 2023, speculations heighten as Obasanjo, Atiku, Wike, Obi, Fayose and others meet in London. Speculations on Nigeria's political scene as the 2023 general elections draw near have heightened, with some political heavyweights reportedly taking part in meetings in faraway London, United Kingdom. And on ASU strike, don't drag our parents into this. NAS won NAPTEC over the 10,000 naira support levy. And Wike Atiku wants Sule Lamido other supporters against hate speech and harmful utterances. The OPC wants fuel subsidy sustained, says no removal without functional local refineries. And I totally agree with this, because we had it in our papers too, where we heard that from next year, July, they will stop paying the, fuel subsidy. But when you stop paying this fuel subsidy, what now happen to the common man? Because it's expected that when you pay this, you make things more better, even though from the beginning of this year, people have said they don't even know the difference between Nigerian government paying the subsidy and not paying. We have seen that it has not even been audited since 2017 to date. I mean 2007 possibly till date. So you can see it seems that there's something fishy. Somebody somewhere is eating the money, or somebody somewhere is benefiting from it. Because definitely in a country like ours, you know that another person's downfall is another person's uprising at another place. So we can see that there are lots of things that need to be addressed. But here we are seeing that the OPC are saying that they cannot be a removal of first subsidy without our local refineries function. And I totally agree with that. Except we revive our own refineries, we're able to do everything with our crude oil here, then that is the only way we can stop paying that. And I think the earlier the better we start looking for a way to revive all these local refineries that we're having in the nation. We can see on our papers when we are saying that our steel mining also needs to be revived. We've been talking about this Ajokuta steel mining. We have been talking, the foreign investors have given money into that. Till date we're yet to see anything. And just like we've said, as much as we're able to revive our local refineries, let's go back to our farming. What happened to our cocoa farming? We have our rubber, we have lots of natural resources. When we're able to do that, we'll be that giant of Africa that will keep beating our chest. Let it not be a thing of the past, but we can still own that name till date. And then from Zamfara, we're having terrorists ambush military convoy and kill scores of soldiers. This is really a sad one. And that is all on the Voice of Liberty.
On the New Telegraph, Nigeria missed saving 12 trillion naira over subsidy payment. Commitment clipping CBN's intervention in Forex. Oil rises above $100 on potential OPEC plus supply cuts. And insecurity won't affect diasporan investments. This is from the federal government as Umahi kicks as court nullifies the local government polls. Military seizes 3.7 billion naira stolen crude oil in 2 weeks. Arrest 8 suspected terrorists in Abuja. TET Fund sponsored COVID-19 vaccine ready for trial in November. And high cost of governance worrisome. This is from the SGF as panel proposes streamlining of PAC by National Assembly. The big story says Obasanjo in London brokers Obi Wike alliance, and camp set up technical committee to harmonize strategy as Wike confers with river governors, warns supporters on divisive comments. Wike Atiku field, Bode George urges Lamido, PDP elders to learn from La Ekweme, Bolaige and others. Tinubu gets August 31st rally dates from Oksibanjo, Amechi, Lawan and others. And the full details of the story can be found in page 2, 6 and 8 on the New Telegraph paper. How to Revive Nigeria's Steel Industry by Naseni EVC. And details can also be found in page 4. And back out of ASU strike, student tells state varsities. Slam lecturers for demanding strike month salaries as NANS clock 40. Koasu may resume strike over remittance of. This is from the piece. The Joint Union Congress of the Police Service Commission is set to begin an indefinite strike against the management of the commission over a breach of agreement. The chairman of the Joint Service Union PSC chapter, Adoyi in an interview disclosed that the strike will commence with effect from Monday, August 29, 2022. The strike action comes amidst disagreements between workers of the commission, the chairman of the commission, Musiliu Smith, and the Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba, on which body should be responsible for recruitment, promotion and appointment of constables and officers. Adoyi noted that the management of the commission have overruled the constitutional duty of the PSC and also alleged that the IGP took functions of the PSC upon himself in flagrant disregard of the Nigerian Constitution, a verdict of the appeal courts and the authorities of the Police Service Commission. And we know this is not the first time we see where the Police Service Commission will say they are going to embark on strike. The last time they gave out notice that they are going to embark on a protest because of their salaries and their allowances and even their living condition, which is not looked into by the commission. And we saw where the federal government intervened, gave them some and even gave them promises, because one part of the thing was on their pencom and how their pension, on which platform their pension should be paid. And the police, the IGP said he's going to look into it and take them out of PENCOM. And you believe you me, we have a caller who always talk about this PENCOM, removing the Police Service Commission from PENCOM and looking into other alternative ways they can be paid. And we see where the police IGP gave out his words, promises that they are going to look into this and look out for ways they can look out for ways they can increase their salaries and also look into their living condition. And up to date, Sele, I would say I've not seen anything like that. Only in some states where you see police van vehicles are being given. We saw in Nasarawa State where police vehicles are being launched for them to look into how they can tackle this issue of insecurity. But when we talk about the work, what about the welfare of these people? And we see now where they are looking at going on a strike on the 29th, which is Monday, concerning the recruitment of constables and who is supposed to supersede the recruitment and even look into their welfare. We just hope that they look into all these things, because if the security operatives are having issues amongst themselves, then how can they resolve the ongoing issue of insecurity about their quota? We keep talking about amongst our security, we have snitches among them. I would say some at times is because of the offer that they get to receive from other places. I'm not justifying it that security officers should work with terrorist group, but you see that at times the offer they get from all this terrorist group is palatable for them, so they prefer to even work with these people. But the CDS is talking about fishing out these people, and we still work with fishing out these people. They should be fished out. But if we want our security operatives to give us their best, if we want them to fight this issue of insecurity wholeheartedly, then we should look into their salary scheme, we should look into their welfare, we should look into their security and even their hazard, because that's the same thing our doctors are fighting on. You look out for ways you can treat patients in hospital, but you're not, the government is not concerned about yourself, because they are exposed to so many dangers. The security are exposed to so many dangers. Our doctors also are exposed to so many dangers. So we should look into all these things. We don't want our securities now to protest. When civilians and other sectors are protesting, it is security that go to enforce that it is safe and sound. Then if the security are protesting, who will go and ensure that it is safe? So we just hope that they look into all these things. We don't want to see a platform where our securities now will start protesting. So we just hope that the government look into all these things and restore normalcy and even calm even amongst the police service. And still on the New Telegraph paper, we have here on $464 million trap funds. Ex-NCAA DG proposes first business class ticket sales in dollars. And here we have the last story on research saying less sleep makes people more selfish. Details can be found in page 26, and that's all on the New Telegraph.
Thank you, Tosi, for that. The papers. Well, like at this moment, we would like to take a time out where we can open the phone lines to our callers and let us hear what your views are concerning concerning most of the story we've looked at on the paper, the issue of some of Nigerians and Northern Cyprus, and also the meeting between OBJ, Atiku, Wiki, and other, PDP, very great people that actually met in London. And also we tend to look at various stories that have been on our paper, the welfare of the police. What did you think? And also the warning that NAS has given to, ASU to leave parents out of the strike. Well, we'd like to hear what you have to say concerning this. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, the program is the Dailies on Echo Television International. We've been looking at quite a number of stories that have been flying on our papers this morning. The meeting between Atiku, OBJ, and also the welfare of the police, and also the warning that NAS have given to ASU to leave parents out of the 10. Okay, and already we have a call. Hello, Stephen from Benue. Hello, Stephen, are you there?
Good morning.
Morning, Stephen. Go on.
The issue of Police Service Commission.
Okay.
Musliu Smith, who is the chairman of Police Service Commission, is so competent to hold that position. When police went on strike in 2002, he was the one that was Inspector General of Police. He has no good administration. It was Tinubu who was begging for him as governor of Lagos State during Security Council meeting with the president Obasanjo that time. The same Tinubu seek convinced Buhari to put him as chairman Police Service Commission. Now he's still having problem with the Inspector General of Police. That man is not competent. He should be removed from that place. And police should be taken care of properly. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stephen, because Stephen has been very passionate when it comes to the issue of the welfare of the police. So we hope that the right thing will be done. Well, let me go further. Please just keep the calls coming and also keep your comments rolling on our Facebook handle. On Leadership newspaper, London meeting, Europe new political playground as governors weigh fresh options. Wiki, Otto Makinde, Fitiri, Penel, Obasanjo, Obi, Atiku, and others in UK. Ex-VP cautions the PDP Board of Trustee members over unguarded utterances. And Jonathan Sambo stressed unity issue-based campaign. Detail found on page 4. And we are having a story here. Orisanya reports federal government will reposition MDAs with draft white paper. Hello, Samuel from Ghana.
Hello?
Hello, Samuel, we can hear you. Go on, please. Move away from your TV set. Hello, Samuel, can you hear me? Please move away from your TV set. Okay, I would love you to call us back. Please, to our callers, when you call us, try and tone and, pull down the volume of your TV set or totally off it so that we can actually hear you. Still on the leadership paper, we have 17 marginary oil fields producing in Nigeria. This is coming from the NUPRC. And UN have urged increase of Nigerians' education budget to 40%. And the Diaspora Commission warns Nigerians against visit to Northern Cyprus. Hello, Sam from Buhari.
Hello?
Yes, Sam, we can hear you. Please go on with your contribution.
Okay, good morning.
Morning.
It's okay. I want to comment on the meeting in London.
Okay.
Of the political gladiators.
Go on.
It's well for us who are supporters of these political gladiators that these politicians, they are all in one, and that we should be able to tolerate one another. These political opponents, they are not eternal opponents. And so when we talk to ourselves, because we are their supporters, we have to be able to employ decorum. Because at the end of the day, they will also always meet together. then we know that they are meeting in London to keep us all guessing. Okay? But then we should not read so much meaning into whatever they are doing, because political interest is what belongs to them. And that we should know that at the end of the day, Nigeria as citizens will still remain together. Just my candid advice. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam, for that great contribution. And that's all on the leadership paper to say.
On the first news, Tinubu meets Oshibanjo, APC presidential aspirant, next week to strategize. And Nigeria's revenue crossed 1 trillion naira for the second month in July. Lagos begins collection of levy for parking outside perimeter fence. And court annuls Ebonyi local government polls, declare it undemocratic and unlawful. While for breach...
Sorry, Tosi, we have another caller. Hello, Augustine. Good morning.
To the, on the matter of police pensions...
Okay. Augustine, we can hear you, please. Okay, I would love you to call us back if you can.
On the first news, we have breach of agreement. Police Commission Union declares indefinite strike. And ministers hand over 10,635 bulletproof vests, 6,708 helmets to police. Ogun police arrest call girl 23-year-old for selling own baby for 600,000 naira. And we have a suspect saying how I killed my stepmother with pistol. UEFA Champions League draw, Liverpool to play Ajax as Bayern face Barcelona. The big story here, after Obasanjo, Obi, Atiku meets Wike, PDP governors in London, as PDP presidential flag bearer dines abroad with estranged Rivers governor and others. Caution supporters party stalwarts against exonerating Wike, says River governors, others working for PDP victory. ASU rejects 10,000 naira intervention levy by parents and still as regards the strike. Benzema wins UEFA Player of the Year award.
Okay. Hello, Augustine.
Say, is that the police pensioners be removed and bring back what they were charging for you. At present, it is not encouraging for a man to work for 35 years. And when he retires, a home years he will be less than 20,000 income. While the soldiers who are private can receive 50,000. Is this exactly justice for the
Okay, I think the network is a bit faulty, but I think I got the message. He's still talking about the welfare of the police and what needs to be done to make sure that they work well.
Okay, the last story on first news, we have how Presidential Guard uncovered terrorist camps in Abuja. This is from Defense Headquarters. Says airstrike killed terrorist commander and his troops. Eliminates 57 others as 1,652 surrender.
Okay, hello, Gabriel. Hello, Gabriel, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Good morning.
Okay, good morning. Please go with your contribution.
Yeah, I just want to talk about political gladiator that I'm going to London for meeting.
Okay, go on.
I just want to advise our community. I don't know why such meetings will not hold in Nigeria. I don't know what they are hiding. I just want to advise our community to open our eyes, get your PVC, vote out those you need to vote out. Because whatever they are discussing here is to their own advantage. We are all Nigerians, for God's sake. Our political gladiators should not leave our own country to another country to hold meetings. Has Americans ever left their own country to Nigeria to hold meeting here to discuss their own political future? So why are they playing around with us? I want to advise Nigerians, advise our teenagers, go get your PVC. Open your eye. Don't be carried away with the money they are going to spend. Because whatever they are going to do to talk about in London is going to be to their own advantage. Thank you. Good morning.
Morning. Thank you so much.
Last story on First News, we have troops recovered stolen crude oil worth 1.3 billion naira in 2 weeks. And this is part of the achievements of the military. And that's all on the First News.
And on the Daily Times newspaper, NETCOM warns students against seeking admission in Northern Cyprus, says Nigerians are being killed daily, appeals to National Assembly to consider diaspora voting. With detail can be found on page 5 of the Daily Times newspaper. And on insecurity, 1,037 borders in Nigeria are unguarded. This is coming from the Defense Headquarters. Hello, Samuel.
Okay. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you, Samuel. Go on, please.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
Yes. Hello?
We can hear you. I think you're listening to your TV set. Please just listen to us. Okay.
Hello?
Samuel, I think I have to cut you short. Please, when you call us, turn down the volume of your TV set, please. Thank you. Still on the Daily Times newspaper, Obasanjo, Peter Obi, and Wike meet in London. Atiku Rivers governors and others meet in. Atiku River governors and others also meet in London. The Defense Headquarters confirmed the death of Uzafa, Iswap, fourth in command. Arrest 8 terrorists in Gwagwalada FCT, with detail found on page 3. And on vaccination, federal government urges traditional rulers to intensify efforts on community mobilization. And TED Fund COVID-19 sponsored vaccine ready for first clinical trial in November. And the big story, which is on insecurity, 137 borders in Nigeria are unguarded. This is coming from the Defense Headquarters, the CDS, and says that porous borders account for easy access of terrorists, bandits from neighboring countries into Nigeria. Calls for use technology as a tool in strengthening Nigerian borders. Hello, Mohammed from Taraba.
I'm watching your television on Airport Line.
Yes, please go on with your contribution. You have 30 seconds.
Hello. I'm seeing your papers review on the screen.
Okay, go on, please, Mohammed.
Please tell those aspirants or candidates of these parties they are meeting in London. Let them ask the Europeans to vote for them there. They are insulting this nation. We are tired of them. Nigerians are not fools. If they don't regard Nigeria, please let them go there. Either America or whatever, any country they want to go. Let those people vote them there. We are tired. Enough is enough. Nigerians are dying. Insecurity is killing all of us in this country. They are not good at it. They carry our resources, go to London, go to America, spend our money, spend our resources. They don't bother about us. Enough is enough, please. Nigerians are not fools. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mohammed. And I think most of the callers are really bothered about that meeting. But the way out, just get your PVC. You know the right thing to do. Just do it. And that's all on the Daily Times newspaper.
On The Nation, we have federal government to going to Northern Cyprus. 8 suspects arrested in Abuja terrorist cell raid. And Oyo begins distribution of 1 billion naira loans to entrepreneurs, and banks, telcos compete for financial services, says CBN. Police to deploy bomb sweepers, and Akeredolu upgrades monarchs. Details can be found in page 6 of The Nation. Oshibanjo, Lawan, Amechi, 19 others to unite for Tinubu as ex-APC presidential aspirants to meet in Abuja next week. Atiku Obi holds talk with Wike in London. Obasanjo seeks support for Labour Party candidate. And United Nations urges Nigeria to raise education votes by 13%. Woman sells 3 weeks old baby for 600,000 naira in Ogun.
We have a caller. Hello, Kalisus from Benue. Good morning. Kalitus, if you can hear us, please go on.
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you. Please go on.
Good morning.
Morning.
I want to comment on the newspaper headline concerning ASU and federal government concerning the parents. And there was a newspaper headline some days ago that parents wanted to contribute 10,000 naira for ASU of the strike. I think it's not the duty of the parents to fund ASU to sponsor all of this, but the duty of the federal government. And if federal government cannot fund ASU to all of the strike, because I know that what ASU are asking is for the benefit of we Nigerians. So I believe the money is there. Federal government is found out so that they follow the strike, not on the head of the parents. So I'm a student too. It pains me that this strike has gone a long way, yes. But it's not our duty. That is the duty of the federal government for them to follow that strike. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tosh. And I think I really agree with that because, Tosh, remember when I said if we're asking parents to pay this 10,000 naira levy, that means we're going back to secondary school and primary school where we pay levies and we also pay school fees. So if federal government cannot do that, then maybe I think it's high time we start paying the school fees. You get received just the way you do in primary school. Start having PTA meetings. Maybe with that, then we'll be able to maybe sign it because it's not the responsibility of parents to pay that levies. They have paid the money. It's left for the federal government to fix that sector.
And I'll just say, I will urge our viewers to watch the Lifeline where we had ASU chairman and he shared that just chapter and he shed more light to this issue because it's way beyond what we see. So I will urge our viewers to watch the Lifeline on Equa Television official Facebook and YouTube pages so that you can see what the ASU chairman of Plateau State chapter, how he shed more light to the issue of the ongoing issue between ASU.
Thank you. So we have the last caller, Abubakar.
I want to talk about our position outside the country.
Okay.
To hold a meeting here, travel outside the country to hold a meeting. This first time for me to wake up and say who are the leaders who are going to abandon.
And Abubakar, right there, I think Abubakar ended the call. And Toast, is that all we have on The Nation?
No.
Well, thank you so much for doing this with me.
Thank you.
Thank you all to our viewers. Thank you to all that were able to call. And also, you can keep your comments rolling on our Facebook page. And I will invite you to stay tuned by 10 o'clock where we shall be having Nigeria Now. And also by 7 where we shall be looking at the electronic, transmission of election results. So keep a date with me by 7 p.m. Have a blessed day ahead.